Hey guys, accomplished the impossible here today with a quick little efficiency video on a air conditioner unit that we recently just grabbed at Costco. This one was set up for the grandparents because their master bedroom was getting a little warm. This is a Hisense, and I really like these units. Check this out. So as you'll see, it's got two tubes coming in. Why does it have two tubes? We have an intake and we have an exhaust. Why do you need an intake and exhaust? Your air conditioner has two main functions. You have a compressor and you have a condenser. The compressor compresses the refrigerant. The condenser allows the refrigerant to expand, therefore cooling the coil, therefore blowing cold air. So, your compressor is outside. It has the big fan on it, and it intakes the air from the fins and blows it out the fan. That's important because what that's doing is it's taking the heat out of the refrigerant in the coils and exhausting it through the top of the air conditioner. And that allows the refrigerant to recycle to the next cycle of expanding in the condenser. I'm sorry I'm getting those two mixed up. There's a lot of words going on here. Anyway, so normally when you see these little guys, they're portable units and they have one little tube going out. Not two, just one. Stay away from those. Those are bad. The reason those are bad is because what they're doing is they're intaking air from the room and they're exhausting it through the hot pipe, and it destroys your efficiency by about 30%. So how stupid is it to take your cold air, suck it in, and exhaust it out through your hot air pipe? Stay away from the one hose units. Those are junk. If you really need to get cold air at night and you are in an emergency situation where it's getting really warm, it's not a bad idea. I'll give it to you. You got to do what you got to do. But try not to get it if you have the option not to. What this guy does, as I said earlier, we're intaking our ambient air outside. We're going to pull it in this hose on the left. The compressor is down here. The coils that cool the compressor are about right here. The regular outside air is coming in through this hose. It's cooling off the refrigerant, and then it's exhausting out this hose. And this is a warmer pipe. So it exhausts the hot air. And it is not drawing from the ambient air in the room that it cooled off. They're two completely separate systems. Like I said, whereas the single tube will use the air in the room to intake and exhaust. The other problem with that is that creates a negative pressure. Negative pressure is a really bad thing to have when you're trying to run efficient. Why do I say that? Your windows have leaks. These little flanges up here all have leaks, including the door jambs on the bottom of the doors. Those also allow air to come and go. When you have a single tube that pulls air out of the room that it cools, it needs to resupply that air from somewhere. Those areas are this is a way of air to get in, and this can be warm air. Just depends. The other way, like I said, is the windows. This particular unit has a flange or a cover that goes in. The two hoses seat in that, and they give you a little bit of insulation tape to prevent leakage of hot air coming in the room. That's not necessarily a problem with this unit because, like I said, it doesn't draw air to exhaust out the room, so you don't have a negative pressure. Therefore, you run more efficiently. This little unit has several features. It cools, it dries, and it just runs as a fan. The cooling is obviously to cool the room. Drying is a dehumidifying mode where it's pulling the moisture out of the air and it's sending it through this little tube in a bucket. It's very important to check this bucket if you run the humidifier for obvious reasons, creating water damage and other issues. Remember to check the bucket. This particular unit, the Hisense, is Wi-Fi compatible, so you can control it from your smartphone. I don't really use it for that. And then it has some other modes: high, medium, low fan, timer, quiet, and sleep mode. And I think the sleep mode just runs a little bit more quiet. So you can adjust it to whatever temperature you want. We have this thing adjusted to 73 right now, and it has dropped the room down to 73. It's been phenomenal. So if you're thinking about an air conditioning unit and you don't necessarily want to grab a Hisense, this was a Costco special for $329, which is unheard of. Normally the dual tube units cost about $500 plus. So this was a recent purchase, $330 at Costco. Great deal, simple to put together. You just click the two tubes in the back here, click the two tubes in the window unit, and then pop this in the window unit, put a little bit of insulation tape on the window, and you're good to go. Plug it in with an outlet. When you plug it in with an outlet, keep in mind that this is a power-hungry device in some sense. So you want to make sure that whatever circuit you have this on does not have a lot of load on the circuit. What do I mean by load? I mean, make sure you don't have a lot of lights. Make sure you don't have a big computer drawing a lot of power if you're a gamer, and other high applications like a vacuum or something like that. You just want to keep it dedicated to this unit if at all possible. This video was made because it's summertime. We have a lot of people that have actually reached out to me saying, hey, do you know of any good air conditioners? And I really wanted to put this out there because this is a really good idea. The dual tube is the way to go. Super efficient, and it cools very well. You will actually have a much harder time to cool a room with the single unit exhausting the air versus the dual unit, the dual tube, where it intakes and exhausts the same circuit, and it keeps them separate. So anyway, I hope you all appreciated this. I know this isn't the kind of videos we do, but this is something that I would like to get the word out on these things because it's super important, and they can really save you all some money, and just in general, they'll cool the room down a whole lot faster. So this could be used for server rooms that are kind of running a little warm. If you need just a temporary solution, they're good for that. And they're good for a comm shelter if you're building one of those. So I guess it kind of does fit into the channel. Anyway, hope you all found it good. Have a great day.